Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Muichirou. Muichirou was quite average himself when it came to height. So, he was not really massively taller than you in any way. He was taller, yes, but not in an irregular way. It was all very normal. But what wasn't normal though was just how adorable you were. And the things that being short would make you do. You owned something off the top of the fridge. You would climb around just to get it. And at first he was rather surprised to see the side of you, climbing like you were in a jungle or something. Getting chairs, climbing on top of shelves, grabbing the cabinet. It was rather eye-opening. And he kept looking at you. And when you caught him, you looked flustered, blushing. "What are you looking at, Muichirou?" "Just looking at you," he says. But he really just can't muffle his laughter. So he looks away, and you blush even further, almost falling when he catches you. He wraps his arms around you gently, and holds you in his own. A lot of the other things that he tends to do is just wrap his arms around you, and then he gets to realize just how tiny you are, and how much he loves holding you like this. When you're cuddling, he can fit you in his lap perfectly, wrap his arms around you and surround you in there, in a big bear hug. And you love it. Perhaps you had your own insecurities about your own height, but being with Muichirou made you see a lot of positives that you would not have had you been taller. You like melting into his arms. You like feeling the security of being held totally within his grasp, as his body surrounds yours, with his love and warmth and safety. Muichirou was always able to make you feel like your height is something that's, well, more of a positive really, than a thing that you have to dislike about yourself. And now more than ever, as he carried you in his arms. Perhaps had you been taller it would have looked more awkward, but it's like you fit in there. And considering that he wasn't that tall either, well, it was a lot easier to do. And although you would have to tiptoe whenever you wanted to kiss him, and you had a much harder time trying to surprise him with your kisses, you loved the adoration in his face whenever he did that. The way he would lift you up when he wanted to hold you or kiss you. He never thought that the love of his life could be so tiny in his arms. But he guesses that's not a disadvantage really, especially if he can hold and love you, and show you all the ways in which he feels and experiences love. Lion, you're amazing, just the way you are. You know that, right? He would say often. And you would agree with him. Perhaps years ago, you would have not said the same thing. But being with him has changed your perspective on many things. And it has made you find a lot of ways to be able to love yourself. Tengen. Tengen thought your height was one of the most adorable and cute things about you. Sometimes he would tease you about it, and although you were annoyed at first, you finally discovered that it was from a place of love, really. Not because he wanted to embarrass you. He just thought you were adorable, and he thought that alone was worth teasing. And your reactions were only a bonus. The way you would get slightly agitated, the way you would blush, and get so pouty. He thought that was even cuter than most things. But even more than all of that, he loved you. He didn't care about your height that much, and it would never influence the amount of love that his heart would always hold for you. Whether you were tall, short, small, or big, you would always be his favorite. But since you're really short, he has come to adore that and loves the many ways in which you chose. The way you tiptoe whenever you want to kiss him, and the way he's able to hold you, the way you're so small in his arms. He's quite a tall person, very tall. So the height difference is quite jarring, if anything. A lot of people think that you're related, as in he's your older brother or, oh, God forbid, your father. And you have to quickly explain that it's nowhere near that. But, thankfully, most can come to understand. After all, you don't look really close or anything. It's just the height difference. That can be quite embarrassing, both for you and him. But other than that, nothing ever annoyed you about your height when you were with him, besides the whole teasing aspect of what Tengen did. Sometimes he would lift you up when you wanted something, but you noticed something that he did a lot as well. Sometimes he would purposely put things high up on the shelf, so you would not be able to reach them on your own. So you would eventually have to call for his help. And one day, you got quite tired of that habit of his. You wanted that to change. So of course, you decided not to ask for his help this time around. Climbing and sneaking around and trying to find a way, just to reach that chocolate. But little did you know, Tengen was watching, and barely muffling his own laughter, a couple meters away. He was sneaking around, not wanting to be seen. But he almost fell, and then he caught you in his arms, looking at you as your face went red. You know, I would have been just fine if you hadn't caught me too. Really? You want to try that, Ryan? No, I didn't say that. Then where's my thanks? Thank you. No, you know what I mean, Ryan. He whispered. And after just a huff from you, you kissed him. That was the way that he felt appreciated, he told you. And that was why he wanted you to thank him about things so often. Not because he wanted you to be grateful or something. Just because you had established that the way that you would thank him would be with kisses. And he's more than happy about being thanked that way. As for you, you were certainly embarrassed. Because you certainly did not succeed at your mission. But that's okay, because you got it for you anyway. He felt quite bad. And he surely will try doing this a lot less, just because he does not want you risking what just happened.